with you, turn to Matthew 28. We'll be going through Matthew 28, verses 8 through 20, right in the middle of the chapter. So, today is a day of celebration for a nation. They're very excited today. There's going to be lots of fireworks. We're celebrating a day of independence, a day of freedom. And this is something that's repeated once a year, every year. It's July 4th in America. But there are also other days of independence around the world. There's August 20th, February 24th, July 9th, October 1st, and my favorite, March 2nd. These are all days where a nation or a state celebrates their independence. They celebrate their freedom. They celebrate the foundation of their freedom by a signing of a declaration. Something that says, I am a free person in this nation now. I can move freely in this world now. And we get to see a different type of celebration today that we get to celebrate every day and every Sunday. We see the resurrection. That is that signing of the declaration, saying that yes, we are free. Yes, He is risen. Our King is here. He is here in our lives now. So we're going to jump right into the middle of the chapter. It's going to be verse 8. The women have seen Jesus, and now He is about to speak to them. Verse 8. So they departed quickly from the tomb with fear and great joy, ran to tell His disciples. And behold, Jesus met them and said, Greetings. And they came up and took a hold of His feet and worshipped Him. And Jesus said to them, Do not be afraid, and go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee, and there they will see me. What a wonderful thing. They see Jesus, and they see Him in heavenly glory and heavenly body. They run, as they depart the tomb, they're running in fear and joy. In fear because they don't know what's going on, but in joy because they have an idea of what's going on. They know, and they're excited because no one else could have done that. No one else could have removed them from the tomb. No one else. But they did it with a purpose. I like to say that they ran. The women seen them and they ran. It was that moment where they had purpose and they were moving forward quickly. They weren't meandering. They wanted to tell somebody what was going on. They had it on their lips, and they wanted that need. And then when He meets them in verse 9, He says, Greetings to them. Greetings. It's not just like, hey, hi, greetings, salutations. No, it's more of a greetings. Your King is here. It's a profound statement. It's a warm statement. It's a loving statement. Just that single word, greetings, invokes so much warmth, so much love, because He's welcoming them to Him. And we see this right after that as they take a hold of His feet and worship Him. That means they see Him standing there in His glory, and they got on their hands and knees and put their heads on His feet and gave Him the worship that He so rightly deserves. Jesus is resurrected. The declaration has been signed. They know their King has arrived. They give Him that. I like the fact that they touch Him. They take a hold of Him. This is not just some phantom thing in their head. This is not just some hallucination that they're seeing. This is real in reality. They're putting their hands on His feet. There's a physical manifestation there. This is not just, as some people would say, women in hysteria. No, these women are in their right minds because they feel him. And in verse 10, he comforts them. Jesus comforts them. Do not be afraid. I love that he goes from greetings and warmth and love to I'm here. You don't have to be afraid anymore. He calms them. And that's what they needed. We all need that moment. When we read those words, do not be afraid. That should welcome us, should bring us a sense of calm, not because we're afraid or hysterical or just out of it, because the world is kind of always wanting to push us away from him. Here I have underlined something that I really appreciated when I read it. He calls his disciples as brothers, family. That's what he's calling them, family. It's a welcoming statement. They're no longer just friends and followers. They're family. They are a part of him now. They are with him in this now journey to spread the gospel. I love that fact because now that he has said that to them, we can join that family as well. We are now also brothers and sisters with him. We are family with him. Also that he gives them a command. Tell my brothers to go to Galilee, and there they will see me. The women have seen him and touched him. Now they're going to see him again in Galilee with their own eyes. They're going to hear him again with their own ears, and they're going to feel him again with their own hands. This is something that's, makes it more, not just more real, but is real. It is real. Some people will say, oh, these disciples were just hallucinating, or they're just making this up. I mean, I'm not a smart man, but I can't make this up. And I don't think most people can make something this up like this. And then Matthew, in this next little section, does kind of an odd gear shift. He wants us to he takes us away from a little bit from something and shows us, he gives us a snapshot of what's happening in the city a little bit. He's showing us something different here. It says, while they were going, behold, some of the guards went into the city and told the chief priests all that had taken place. When they assembled with the elders and taken counsel, they gave a sufficient sum of money to the soldiers and said, Tell people his disciples came by night and stole him away while you were asleep. And if this comes to the governor's ears, we will satisfy him and keep you out of trouble. So they took the money and they did as they were directed. And the story has spread among the Jews to this day. I want to remind everyone, these aren't just normal guards. These are Roman guards. Imperial Roman guards. These men have lived a life of war and discipline. These are men who will not just run away from a fight. These are men who know the meaning of violence and bloodshed. A few weaponless disciples of Jesus would not stop them from protecting that tomb. These are not cowardly men. If the disciples actually had come upon this tomb to steal away the body, as the elders and councils have said, that Roman cohort, that Roman guard, would have killed them easily. It would have not been a challenge for them. So as we see here, they are continuing a lie. They are continuing in their falseness. They keep the word of Jesus subdued. they are doing what they can to stop the spread of his word. They don't want to lose their power. They don't want to lose their status. They don't want to lose their authority. So they're doing what they can to prevent it. I like how the fact they had to give a sufficient sum of money to the soldiers. That probably means a lot of money. Because for a Roman soldier, when he deserted, if he deserted his outpost or his guard post or anything like that, he had two outcomes in his life: execution and punishment. And the punishment would be severe. It's not something that they would take in lightly. So they would have the elders and council would have to give them a large sum of money to lie. That because it would have to be enough to where if they had to, they would have to pay their way out of the Roman army. This is something that shows that they're willing, the council is willing to go through large expenses to subdue the truth of Christ. But as we see in the last verse, that they took the money and they did what anybody who asked them. Yeah, the disciples came and stole away the body. That was the lie that kept going. But we know this was going on because the story began to spread among the people. So it wasn't a secret for long. The lie became exposed and everybody knew. And I believe this is what Matthew is showing here in this spot right here. That the council was willing to lie and make a secret and try to keep everything subdued. But it failed. It ultimately failed. Because the Roman guards, they have no obligation to the elders and the priestly council not to talk about it. I mean, you ask a soldier to keep a secret, and you're going to be hard pressed for that soldier to keep a secret. In my own military experience, soldiers are one of the worst secret keepers. They have very trouble, keeping secrets. You apply them with a little alcohol, and they're going to talk. This is something that soldiers have gone throughout the centuries. This is not soldiers having trouble keeping secrets is not a modern issue. This is an issue that was way down on the road and way up the road. It's going to be something that forever happens. Now, we get into what I would call the meat and potatoes. This is where we get to hear what Jesus is wanting. We get to see that small snapshot of what the world is going to experience in these little words right here. Now, the 11 disciples went to Galilee, just as he had commanded, so they meet him there, to the mountain which Jesus had directed them. And when they saw him, they worshipped him. But some doubted. And Jesus came and said to them, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Go therefore, make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you. And behold, I am with you always to the end of the age." I like that first verse. It says, "Now the 11 disciples go to Galilee, to which the mountain that Jesus directed them to." When we look back through all of Matthew and all the other Gospels, we always see that theme. That Jesus tells them something, and they do it when When it's played out, it happens. It's something that he does. He never leaves his disciples unprepared or unready. He always gives them something. He always prepares them and makes them ready. It's like he's leading by example. He's saying, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. If I'm going to say I'm going to be here, he's going to be here. It's like he's keeping his word. Kind of a theme that God does. He keeps his promises. He keeps his word. He has no faultness in him. And that's how we know he's our king. That's how we know he's our prince. And that's how we know he's our savior. That's why we call him the promise keeper. Because that's what he does. He keeps his promises. When he says he's going to do something, he does it. We can always count on that. When he says, I'm going to change your heart, he's going to do it. When he says, I'm going to love you, he's going to do it. When he says, I'm going to give you mercy, he's going to do it. When he says, I'm going to give you grace, he's going to do it. He's the promise keeper. Now, sometimes we don't want to accept that, but that's on us, not on him. That's something we have to deal with, not him. And then again, the 11 see him. They worship him. That should give you an idea that they are worshiping him. He is God made flesh. He has that power and authority to be worshipped. They get to put their hands on him again. You know, when it says some doubted, in John we see the one that doubted, Thomas. But Thomas gets a bad rap sometimes for doubting. He just wanted proof. And guess what? Jesus gives him that proof. He says, put your fingers in my hole, and these wounds here, and here as well. And Thomas does it. And automatically, he stopped doubting, because he has the proof. It's right there. And then he calls him, my Lord. For someone in that time to look at Jesus and call him my Lord would be a statement of blasphemy at that time. One against the Jewish council, and the next would be against Caesar. Because you wouldn't call, at that time, you wouldn't call anybody else king except for Caesar. But yet he's doing it. Jesus, and here is his part. A lot of people like to call this the Great Commission. This is the Great Command. The one that everyone gets to do. Everyone. No one is excluded from this one. This is the one we all get to be a part of. All get to rejoice in. All get to take part in this great command. And Jesus said and came to, and Jesus came and said to them, all authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. That statement, all authority. Meaning he has all authority. It means he is sitting on the throne. He is sitting there because he has that authority. And that's a wonderful statement. Because now we don't have to worry about that authority. We know who has it. We know he's sitting on that throne, and we don't have to worry about it anymore. We no longer have to worry, is this on me? No. We're just a part of it. He's the one with the authority. He's the one that does the things. He's the one that makes the promises and keeps them. The next verse, go therefore. In the Greek it says, it's more of an as you are going. As you are moving along. As you open your eyes in the morning and you put your feet on the ground and you go to the store, you walk down the road, as you are moving along, as you talk to your friends, as you talk to your family, as you talk to your brothers and sisters in the church. Make disciples of all nations. Walk along them as you have walked along him. He's saying to them, you have come up next to me, let them come up next to you and be with me. When Matthew wrote, follow me, such a long time ago that we read, that's what's going on here. We are becoming attached to Jesus. We are understanding who he is. We are learning and watching who he is. We're seeing the miracles played out. But we're not just doing it in this small little circle here. We're doing it to all the nations. And here, all the nations is the word ethnics. All the people of the world. Not just one, not just a few, but all are involved in this. Every last person. From the north to the south, to the east, to the west. It seems like that's God's theme. It seems like he wants to involve everybody with him. Not just a few. He's letting those that shine, who want to shine, shine. Not so they can shine, but so they can bring others to him. So they can shine and disciple and bring more to him. The next, baptizing them, immersing them, playing out the death, burial, and resurrection. Showing their commitment. Showing that contract. Showing that I am taking part in this great plan for God to bring people to him. It's funny how water is everywhere. You can't escape it. And it's one of those things that everybody has access to. Even in the most remote places, you can find it if you look for it. We'll see that later on in Acts when we go through that. It is something that everybody gets involved in. It doesn't exclude anybody. It includes everybody. This is when he's saying baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. There is no exclusion to this. It's inclusive. It allows everybody to be involved. It allows everybody for their hearts to be circumcised, separated from the world that we are a part of. I like that everybody can be involved. I like the fact that everybody gets to be part of the team. I like that. It reminds me of my days when I was in the military. Everybody was involved when we were doing a task. Everybody was a part of it. When I played football, everybody was involved. Everybody was doing something. The same thing here. Everybody gets to be involved. No one is excluded. Nobody. That's awesome. It's wonderful. It should give you a boldness that everybody gets to be a part of this. The next verse, the last verse. Teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you, and behold that I am with you always to the end of the age. I like that he gives them four things actually to do. It's very simple steps. As you are going, you will come alongside of them. They will enter into a covenant with me, and then you will teach them all the things that you need to know. They will learn about me, is what he's saying. And he's saying all the things that he has commanded. Not what I command, not what Dennis commands, not what somebody else thinks they command. It's Him that commands this. Okay? Like I said in the beginning of the verse, He has all the authority. He can make that command. So that's when we get to start really learning of all the things that He wants us to learn. That's that teaching part. As you're teaching, they are being taught, and as they are being taught, you are learning as well. You are making that connection. Because He commanded it. He has put it a part of it in His statement. His declaration of signature. That signing of things that need to be done. This last bit should give us boldness. Not that aggressiveness. I want to separate that. It should give us boldness. Because it says, and I am with you always. Meaning, there is not a point in your life where I'm not with you. There is always a time that I am with you. I am with you when you're hurting. I am with you when you're not. I am with you when you're struggling. I am with you when you're not. I am with you, is what He's saying to them and to us. He's saying, I am always there for you. I am always there when your emotions are being emotions. I am there with you when your thoughts are being thoughts. I am there when you're doubting, and I am there when you are bold. Why? Because it's always to the end of the age, till the very, very end. This should make us bold and joyful. We should run to tell people. When we meet that new person who doesn't know about Him, we should be excited to sit down with them, running to them, saying, I know someone who can help you. I am healthy, but I know who the healer is. I want you to meet the healer. Don't attach yourself to me because I can't heal you, but I can attach you to Him. He can. And He's always going to be with you till the end of the age. And it's a wonderful thing that we get to have. So why am I telling everyone this? What is all this about, Randall? The so what? As a holy nation, a people of God, we get to celebrate our independence, our freedom from sin, every Sunday. But not just every Sunday, every day, every waking moment. Every time that we remember who He is when we take those emblems in. Anytime we get to read His words, we get to celebrate the best independence, the best freedom, the greatest freedom, the freedom from sin. And every time we remember when we obeyed Him and follow those four little sample steps. When we remember that, we get to celebrate that as well. So, when we go out today, those dates that I said at the beginning are nice and somewhat important for those nations. But this day, this moment here, we get to celebrate always and forever.
Okay, Randall, thank you very much. That was